You're brushing your teeth with plastic. Not metaphorically, not approximately. Literally, the FDA confirmed that most major toothpaste brands contain polyethylene, the same polymer used to make plastic bags, getting lodged in your gum tissue twice a day, every day, for your entire life. And the ingredient right next to it on the label, sodium lauryl sulfate, is a foaming agent borrowed from industrial engine degreasers. That is what is in the tube on your bathroom counter right now. I am going to show you what to replace it with. It costs about $2 to make, and I'm going to give you the exact recipe in the next 60 seconds. Stay with me, because after the recipe, I'm going to show you something about your toothpaste label that is going to make it very hard to ever go back. The recipe. Right now, as promised, 2 tablespoons of bentonite clay, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of finely ground sea salt, a few drops of peppermint or cinnamon, essential oil if you want that familiar fresh feeling, or myrrh oil if you want something with a longer history of actual antibacterial use than anything in that plastic tube. Mix it dry, store it in a small glass jar, and apply it to a damp toothbrush. That is it. No plastic, no detergent, no synthetic fluoride. Total cost for a month's supply, roughly $2. Now, let me tell you what each of those ingredients is actually doing, and then let me show you what is in your current toothpaste. Because one of those conversations is going to make you feel very good, and the other is going to make you feel very differently about that mint-flavored tube you have trusted your whole life. What the clay is doing, you might ask? Well, bentonite clay is volcanic ash. Specifically, it is ash from ancient volcanic eruptions that settled into seabeds and riverbeds and spent millions of years mineralizing into one of the most electrically unique substances on Earth. When it contacts water, it develops a negative electrical charge across its surface. Your teeth and the bacteria, heavy metals, and toxins that accumulate on them carry positive charges. The clay pulls them off your enamel and binds them in its structure. That is not folk medicine. That is basic electrochemistry. Indigenous cultures on 6 continents independently discovered that eating or applying clay detoxified the body and cleaned the teeth. They did not have a word for ion exchange, but they had the result. Bentonite also contains calcium, magnesium, silica, and trace minerals that tooth enamel is actually made of. You are not just cleaning your teeth, you're feeding them the raw materials they use to remineralize. Your enamel is not dead. It is a living crystalline structure in constant exchange with your saliva and whatever you put in your mouth. Give it minerals, it rebuilds. Give it detergent and synthetic compounds twice a day, and it is working against you. Here is what the baking soda is doing. Sodium bicarbonate is mildly abrasive, exactly abrasive enough to scrub the biofilm off your enamel without scratching the surface the way harsh whitening formulas do. It also alkalizes your mouth. Cavity-causing bacteria thrive in an acidic environment. Every time you eat sugar or processed carbohydrates, your mouth pH drops and those bacteria multiply. Baking soda flips the environment against them. It has been used as a tooth cleaner since the 1800s and remains one of the few ingredients in any toothpaste, commercial or homemade, with decades of clinical data behind it. The American Dental Association has acknowledged its safety and effectiveness as a cleaning agent. This is not alternative medicine. This is chemistry that was working before Colgate existed. Now here is what the salt is doing. Sea salt is antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and has been used to treat gum disease and mouth infections for thousands of years. Saline rinses are still prescribed by oral surgeons after extractions because saltwater genuinely disrupts bacterial cell walls and reduces inflammation in soft tissue. The difference between a prescription saline rinse and half a teaspoon of sea salt in your tooth powder is about $40 and a trip to the pharmacy. Now, the toothpaste label. Pick up whatever tube is on your counter and find these ingredients. Sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. This is the ingredient that makes your toothpaste foam. Foam does nothing for cleaning. It is there because your brain associates foam with clean. SLS is a surfactant, a detergent, and it is the same class of compound used in engine degreasers, industrial floor cleaners, and car wash soap. In your mouth, it strips the mucosal lining, disrupts your oral microbiome, and has been directly linked in peer-reviewed research to increased frequency of canker sores. The foam you have been trusting your whole life is a cosmetic feature designed to make you feel like something is happening. Next, polyethylene. Or look for the phrase oral care microbeads. This is plastic. Solid plastic particles added for texture and visual effect. Tiny blue or white specks that your gum tissue absorbs and does not release. The FDA banned them in rinse-off cosmetics in 2015 after research showed they were being found embedded in gum tissue during dental cleanings. Some formulations replaced them with other polymers. Check your label for any ingredient ending in ethylene or polymer. Next, artificial sweeteners. Saccharin, sorbitol, sodium, saccharin in your toothpaste. Because without a sweetener, the product tastes like chalk and harsh chemicals, which is closer to what it actually is. And then, titanium dioxide, a whitening pigment used in paint, sunscreen, and food coloring that the European Food Safety Authority flagged in 2021 as a possible carcinogen when ingested. It is in your toothpaste because white paste looks cleaner than gray. Paste. It is doing nothing for your teeth. Dentists are not villains. Checkups, cleanings, x-rays, these matter and nothing in this video replaces them. But the toothpaste that sits on the shelf of every dental office waiting room is manufactured by the same companies whose marketing budgets fund the continuing education conferences where dentists learn what to recommend. That is not a conspiracy. That is just how consumer product distribution works. The question worth asking is not whether your dentist is honest, most of them are, but whether the product they hand you a coupon for has ever been compared in a clinical trial against 2 tablespoons of bentonite clay and a pinch of salt. It is not. Because there is no profit margin in volcanic ash. Before commercial toothpaste, which was invented in the 1870s and sold in tubes starting in 1892, people cleaned their teeth with chalk, charcoal, salt, and clay. Before that, with twigs from specific trees whose bark contains natural antibacterial compounds still studied by researchers today. The cavity epidemic, the near universal prevalence of tooth decay that defines modern dental health statistics, did not exist at the scale we see it now before the industrialization of food and the introduction of refined sugar at scale. Ancient skulls do not universally show perfect teeth, but the explosion of decay tracks almost precisely with the adoption of processed food, not with the absence of crest. The product that was invented to solve the cavity problem came to market at roughly the same time as the food system that created it. That timing is worth sitting with. So here's how to use this and what to expect. First 2 weeks. Your mouth will feel different. No foam. Slightly gritty. You will rinse and think nothing happened because there are no bubbles to spit out. Something happened. Give it 30 days. Most people report that their teeth feel cleaner by the end of the first week. That slick, smooth surface you feel with your tongue after brushing is the biofilm gone. Some people notice their gums bleed less within 2 weeks because SLS is no longer stripping the mucosal tissue. Some notice their canker sores stop. Keep your dental appointments. Get your cleanings. But pay attention to what your mouth is telling you in those 30 days, because it will tell you something. Store your powder in a glass jar, not plastic. Keep it dry. No wet toothbrush dipping directly into the jar. Use a small spoon or tap some onto your palm first. Shelf life is essentially indefinite since there is no water in the formula to grow bacteria. $2. Volcanic ash, baking soda, sea salt. No plastic, no engine degreaser, no titanium paint pigment. The ingredients that have been cleaning teeth since before toothpaste was invented, still available, still effective, still cheaper than anything on the shelf at CVS. Share this with someone who brushes twice a day and has never once looked at the ingredient list on the tube they are putting in their mouth. They are brushing with plastic, and they deserve to know. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.